Okay, everybody. How's everybody doing? We're going to let everybody kind of gather in here. It is Monday. It has been quite a day. Quite a day here across the Houston area with this sort of minor to moderate winter storm. It's a big deal for us. You know, it may not have been a big deal for some other cities across the country, but we had some freezing rain. We had some sleet, which was kind of interesting. And in fact, we're going to talk about that, sort of what came out of the sky today and what didn't come out of the sky today. Lots of reports of people seeing snow, but it was really more sleet, and we'll talk about that. We just got finished doing our extended coverage on Fox Local on our smart TV app. So we were on Fox 26 Morning News from 4 to 10, and then from 10 until 12:30 just now, we were on our streaming platform on Fox Local. And so I have my earpiece in and all of that stuff, and I'm ready to take it off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now because it's been just too many hours. So hope everybody is safe out there. I took a step outside earlier this morning just to feel it, and just to get an idea of really how cold that wind was. And I stepped outside and my key card would not let me back in. I got trapped outside. Okay, so let's see what everybody's doing. Okay, so Mike says, happy MLK Day. Mike, thank you very much. It's always a shame when a holiday is affected by inclement weather like this. The big parades were canceled, and it just had to happen. I mean, the wind chill is like 15 degrees or something, so there's no way in the world you'd want to have marching bands and kids out there, really anybody else. Ricky Ricardo says Greens Point is seeing snow right now. Well, we're going to talk about it, about exactly kind of what we saw out there, what's been happening. So, well, first, you know how much I love this. I want to show you my whiteboard. You know how much I love my whiteboard, right? There it is. Okay. And so here we go. So I want to talk a little bit about what we saw today. Hey, Rico, here. Here, hold on. Rico's here. There you go. Thank you, sir. Thank you, man. All right. So the question is, did we see snow today? There might have been some. I can't guarantee that there was no snow, but I do want to show you what we did have, and then I'll show you some pictures of it. And what we had today we still have it actually, two different things. So we had sleet, or also known as ice pellets, and we had freezing rain. So here's your cloud. Okay. And we have a layer here that's below freezing. Let's say below 32 degrees here, right under the cloud is below 32. And then there's a little area here where it's above. There's just like a little layer here. Well, I say little layer, it's a few thousand feet thick. I'd have to look at the vertical profile, but let's say it might be 5,000 feet. 5K. It might be about 5,000 feet thick. And then down here, we are freezing. So again, we're below 32 degrees. So you got to think about what happens in this kind of environment. So you have either snow or freezing, like a frozen drizzle or something. It might even be snow, probably, that starts to precipitate out of this. It starts to drop. And then what happens when it gets into this layer? It melts, okay? It melts. So this is water, liquid water. As it falls through here, it becomes rain, liquid rain. Then, see, this is the ground, okay? There's a tree. Here's a car. How do you like that? Let's make it a pickup truck. This is Texas, after all. As the water now falls into this area, then a couple of things can happen, because this is pretty shallow. This is only a couple thousand feet, maybe. So down here, what has been happening today is that the drizzle freezes into these little tiny pellets. And they're very small, very light, and they really very, very much resemble snow. And I'll show you a picture here if I could pull it up in a couple of minutes. The reason it's different from snow is that snow has a flake. You know, you've heard of snowflakes, right? Whoops. You know snowflakes. So, a snowflake kind of has six, whoops. Well, that's terrible, Mike. That's horrible. So a snowflake has six sides like this, right? And then it's got all these pretty, things around it and da-da-da-da-da. No two snowflakes are the same. The whole thing. Man, that's the ugliest snowflake you've ever seen, huh? But snow falls in the form of flakes, crystals. Just like my wife, Crystal. This is little spheres. It literally is like little tiny spheres of ice. So that's what a lot of us saw today. Now, another thing that happens that we saw is called freezing rain. And that is nasty. Freezing rain is very dangerous. That's where this doesn't freeze. Okay, it keeps falling as liquid. Well, I'll put it over here. It keeps falling as liquid. See, I'll circle this, liquid water. It keeps falling, and then, boom, it hits the tree. The branches on the tree are below 32 degrees, and you have ice. Ice. Then, same thing over here. Your truck, you got it parked outside. You're inside, watching highlights of the Cowboys game if you want to. Maybe you don't want to. And then this freezes, so you get ice. I did that twice. Ice. That is called freezing rain. F-R-Z. Rain. Freezing rain is very dangerous because freezing rain can accumulate on trees, which can break the tree branches. It can accumulate on power lines, which can break the power lines. It can also accumulate on the windshield of your car. And then you go to turn the windshield wipers on and you rip your windshield wipers off. We don't want that to happen. The best thing to do if you do have freezing rain on your windshield is you have to get out there and just patiently turn on the heater, the defroster, and just let it heat up. And it might take 5 minutes. It might even take 10 minutes. And eventually the ice will start to break up. And then you can either take a credit card or something and swipe it off, or you can turn on your windshield wipers at that point and get rid of the ice. But if you do it when the ice is just solid frozen on there, you could break your windshield wipers, or you could just run it back and forth and it won't do anything. So that's what we had. We had ice pellets, also known as sleet, and we had freezing rain. Now, could there have been a couple of snowflakes out there? Maybe, but I don't really think there was a whole lot, even if it really closely resembled that. So I want to see how I can share the screen with you because I have some pictures that I want to show you. Here we go. Present, share screen. So here we go. So I'm going to share this screen with you, and I'm going to take you to some pictures that I posted on our weather page here because I want to show you what the substance was that came out of the sky. Here we go. So let me take you to this picture. Okay. So I hope y'all can see this. Can y'all see that? Let me know if can y'all comment real quick if you can see what I'm showing with the ice, with the person's hand with the ice in it? I think you can. Well, this is a perfect example of sleet. So look real close here at the, yeah, here we go. So look really close. And I'm going to zoom in here for you. And I want you to see that they aren't snowflakes. See, they're actually these little round spheres. And this was actually sent to us from Sandra. Sandra lives up in Goodrich. Goodrich is near Livingston. I'm not sure if it's in San Jacinto County or Polk County because it's near the border there. I want to say probably Polk. I'm not sure, but it's up there. It's up there, but it's near Livingston. And again, here's another view of how it's not snowflakes. Now, don't get me wrong, it's fun. I mean, like especially, I mean, if I saw it coming out of the sky, it's fun. If I had my kids outside, it's cool. And you know, if you want to tell them it's snow, I'm not gonna give you a hard time about that. But technically, it isn't snow. We also have these cool pictures that came to us from Lake Conroe. And let me see if I could pull this one up for you. There was this fog that was coming off of the lake because very cold air that's moving over the relatively warm waters of Lake Conroe. So you have this evaporation that's coming off of the surface. Here we go. So this is even a cooler one. Yeah, this evaporation coming off of the surface, and then as it interacts with the cold air on top of it, it forms this, which over the ocean you would call sea fog. It's also known as sea smoke, and it's really just it's a variety of fog that forms. So this was very, very cool to see up there around Lake Conroe. It's kind of dangerous though, because I think it was it in this one where there's a bridge there that people, yeah, you see that bridge on the right side. People got to drive over that bridge, and if you get to this area where kind of, you know, the bridge is too close to the water, then you're driving through that, you know, very low visibility area. So again, here's another view there from Lake Conroe. So that, I don't know, I thought that was kind of, you know, I mean, scary slash cool in a, you know, in a meteorological kind of way. We got some other good pictures here. Wait, I got to find my breaking channel. Here we go. This is just our communication system within the news department. Okay, those are the Conroe ones that I just showed you. So here we have an example of freezing rain. So this was sent to us from one of our viewers. And this is where it forms on your windshield and forms ice on your windshield, which is the one where, you know, I don't want you to break your windshield wipers. And then this is a look of some accumulating sleet on the ground that admittedly absolutely looks like snow. And maybe in this case it is. I'd have to examine it a little bit more. And this is in Katy. This is from Sergio Fonseca, who was at a construction site in Katy. And let's see, do we have, oh, here's, you know, some ice on a car. I think this was up in the Conroe area. It's in Cleveland. Here's another look at that one. This is very typical of what we saw across the area today. This sort of this light dusting, but some people did see a whole lot more. Definitely. So here we go. There I am. So let me see what y'all have to say out there. Excuse my whiteboard. So let's see what y'all are up to. It's been a long day. I woke up, I woke up this morning at, well, I got up at midnight, and then I tried to fall back asleep, and then I got up, my alarm went off at 1, and I got up, and of course I met with Pippin and I, my dog, one of my 2 dogs. We always have to have a reunion when we haven't seen each other for longer than about 10 minutes. So there was a big reunion and a lot of belly scratches and all that stuff. And then I had to go get Goose. Now, Goose is our puppy. Well, he's about a year old now, but he's the baby. He's the one, you can see him on my Instagram page. He's He's a half Chihuahua, half poodle, and half we don't know what, skunk. I think I'm pretty sure skunk or squirrel. He doesn't stink. He's a little skunk. But anyway, we had him in front of the heater. I have a space heater, so I sat there. I have the computer that I'm on right now. I used it to log on to the computer and get my show started before I came in because I knew it was going to be a busy day. And so I had the dogs. They love sitting down in front of the heater and just lounging. So I had to go. I had to leave. I was going to be late for work. So I go over to get Goose because he sleeps in his crate. And as soon as I went to pick him up, he growled at me. I'm like, gosh, Goosey. I mean, he never growls like that, but he was mad at me. He wanted to stay in front of that space heater. It was funny. Yeah, Heinz, he's kind of a Heinz 57, Amber. I mean, and so's Pippin, too. Pippin is much bigger. Pippin is like 33 pounds. He's solid. He's a solid dog. And when we bought him, he was supposed to be a Chiweenie. Well, I say bought him. We rescued him when we got him. He was supposed to be a Chiweenie. He is not a Chiweenie. I don't know. He probably is part Dachshund and he probably is part Chihuahua, but I think there's definitely a pit bull in there somewhere. So, but he's a good boy. And anyway, so Renee is asking, is there school tomorrow? I will tell you that there are some school districts that have canceled classes tomorrow. I think Cleveland ISD and some of those school districts around Lake Livingston, I know have already canceled classes. I would have to check. But like the big districts like Houston ISD and Conroe ISD and Fort Bend and Katy and all, I don't think that they've canceled their classes at this point. They're probably playing it by ear. But I will tell you that I already got a text from one of my teenagers who said, do you think school will be canceled tomorrow? And I said, not sure, hon. It's going to be super cold. And then she said, will there be ice on the roads? And so I said, probably not, at least not where we live. But if there is, you'll have to drive to get winter driving experience because Juliana just got her driver's license about 3 weeks ago. And she said, bro, I can't go to school tomorrow because she's got a AP pre-calc quiz. So it's fun. Being a teenager is fun. All right. So Michael says that there's ice accumulation in overpasses in Pleak. That's south of Rosenberg. Yeah, Michael, it's funny. There was a surprisingly kind of robust well, it wouldn't be a shower, an area of sleet that moved over Needville, Pleak, Beasley, that area. And it looks like it definitely did leave an accumulation. Okay, Danielle makes an excellent point. Do not start your cars in a closed garage. During the big freeze in 2021, we have so many sad stories, right? Awful, awful. But there was a family that was trying to stay warm. They went out to the car. They started the car, and they all died of carbon monoxide poisoning, including the children. Just awful. And it was because they just, I don't know, the parents weren't thinking to open the garage door. I don't know. Very, very, very sad. Mike Henry, thank you very much. Edgar Lomas the fourth. I wish I was the fourth. I love that. I love that. Brazos Valley are closed tomorrow. I believe it. It's been so cold up there, Catherine. You guys dropped into the 20s late yesterday, and you've been stuck in the low 20s the whole time. Unbelievable. Let's see. What else is going on out there? The other thing is, Danielle, on the subject of starting your cars, people suggested this morning. It's something to keep in mind for tomorrow. A lot of people didn't have to go to their cars this morning because of the Martin Luther King holiday. But tomorrow, people might be going back to work, and overnight, sometimes animals like stray cats or squirrels or anything like that, they climb up into your engine. I mean, we've all heard those stories, right? And so you're supposed to, bang on the hood before you start the car. So I've definitely heard of that. Um, in fact, I've had something similar. You know how I like to tell these ridiculous stories, right? When we first got Jelly, Jelly's our cat. And when we got Jelly, he was very frisky as a kitten. And he escaped, and we couldn't find him. And I drove to the gym. We were looking all over, couldn't find him. So, we're like, poor kitty. So anyway, I drove to the gym, which was only about an hour. I mean, hours. It wasn't an hour. It was a mile from the house. So I get there and I pull into, and I see this woman stand. She had this look of horror on her face. It's like, oh my gosh, I thought I hit something or whatever. So I get out of the car. Jelly had gone up inside the bumper of the car, like inside. And he was all dirty and everything. Oh my gosh, I was terrified. I was just terrified. He wasn't hurt. He was just dirty. So I was scarred for life because I love that cat. Scarred for, and he wouldn't do that now because he's too hefty to fit in a space like that. Yeah, the cat, thank God he was fine. Thank God he was fine. Yeah, so Claudia has a great suggestion too, which is to check the tire pressure. Anytime there's a change in temperatures, a couple things happen to the tire. You have a change in the volume of that the air takes up because of the shrinking during cold air and expanding during warm air. But you also have a change in the rubber that makes up your tire, that it gets harder when it's cold outside. It gets softer when it's warm outside, especially depending on what kind of tire you have. Some people, like with sports cars, they have summer tires. And if you drive summer tires and it's in the winter, then you lose all traction when it's cold outside. And a lot of people don't realize that. So, Matthew, I work overnight. Should I call in? I don't know, man. I can't tell you to call. Do you have sick time? Do you want to call in? Is your boss going to be upset? I don't know. I don't want anybody blaming me. Ashley, hello to you. Ice accumulation on your porch in Dayton. I got to tell you, I would like to be in Dayton and have a porch. That would be something that I could see myself doing. Especially if I had, how badly I want goats and chickens and stuff. I could see that. Mike Henry, thank you very much. Thank you. Let's see. Wait, Matthew Harrington says, I've been watching you since 2005. Gosh, Matt. Do you know when I started here? 2000. 23 years ago. Tracy says there's light snow in the Humboldt-Kingwood area near 59. Yeah, I believe it. Any road closures like the bridge from Pasadena? You know what, Vicky? That's an excellent question. I mean, those ship channel bridges, didn't they just build a new one? I think they did. Those bridges are kind of scary as it is, right? I mean, they're so big, so high and everything. I have not heard that any of those are closed. I'll tell you what I do know is that there are portions of Highway 290 that have been closed. About an hour ago, we reported that 290 at the Beltway was closed. Now, I don't know if it was closed in both directions. I think it was probably like the exits that were closed because they need to get TxDOT crews out there to treat it because there's ice that's forming. Nate Griffin was out on Highway 99 around the Fulshire area, like south of Katy. And there were some parts of that road that were closed also. So they had to divert onto the feeder road and then go back. And then there are lots of other roads here and there that have some, intermittent ice, but only in a few spots. But yeah, it's kind of a big deal. It's a little bit bigger deal than I thought it was going to be honest with you. Light snow, Bingle and Tidwell right now. I'm surprised at that. So that's up. Reese, you're up there just on the north side of Houston. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Linda wants goats and chickens also. But yeah, look, Linda, I feel you. I would love to have a chicken. My wife would never want to have a chicken, which the irony is that she grew up with chickens. I mean, I'm not going to say it was like Green Acres, but from what I understand, I mean, she grew up in Louisiana, and they had like a little small, like little farm. I'll put it this way: they had a bull. I mean, how many people have a bull? They had a bull, and they had, I think, two or three horses and some chickens and stuff. The thing is, the chickens, they would eat the chickens. I would just want to pet the chickens. I'm not a vegetarian, but you know, I try not to eat things that have a name. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you, Matthew. That's awesome, man. It's awesome to hear. Angleton ISD is closed tomorrow. Is that? Oh, well, that's Lee. Okay, folks. Lee in the chat. She's my boss. Lee says Angleton ISD is. I'm surprised at that. I really am. Snow Flurries NRG. Is it okay to wash dishes, flush toilets, and take a warm shower? 100% yes. Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, I would say it's good to keep that water flowing. Okay, Danielle, this is a sore spot here. You're gonna make me get into one of my fits here. Winter storm names. Winter storms do not have names. Hurricanes have names. Hurricanes get names from the United Nations World Meteorological Organization, and hurricanes are given names because they're a defined area with a latitude and longitude, and you can track them. Winter storms are very large. A winter storm is more of an event than a spot. And so winter storms don't get names, not at all. The Weather Channel started a gimmick to name them, and they've been wildly successful, unfortunately, but I'm not a fan. Not a fan of that. Well, I'm going to wrap things up here in a minute. Reason being that we have a weather update that we're going to provide for you on the same streaming platform. Allison Gargaro, our new wonderful meteorologist, is here. And Allison, are you doing the update or is JD? Okay, Allison's going to do the update for you here in just a moment as I wrap things up. If you're watching us right now on fox26houston.com or maybe on our app, on your iPhone or Android, I want to cordially invite you to download the Fox Local app. You've probably heard us talking about it. You're probably like, what in the world is this thing? Hey, have y'all seen my guitar commercial on TV where I'm singing the praises of Fox Local? Well, what you need to do is you just head to the app store of your TV, Roku, Fire, all of that stuff. Go to the app store and just type in Fox Local, and you can download it. Watch us for free. There's no sign up. You don't have to put your email or anything in there. So you're good to go. You get all of our streaming content, and it's all free. I got to go. We have a weather update coming up here in just a moment, so don't go anywhere. Oh, shout out to my brother and my mom watching from Florida. It's very, very cold here. So see y'all later. Bye.